Business Brain, episode 703 for Casual FridAI, November 21st, National Gingerbread Cookie Day, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where you send in some stuff, we bring in some stuff, we crunch it, we dissect it, we use it to tune our business brains so we can each level up on living our charmed lives each and every time we get together. Our sponsors include PAKA at go.paka, P-A-K-A, apparel.com/brain, where you can grab your PAKA hoodie and a free pair of alpaca crew socks. This hoodie is like, it's awesome. It's my favorite hoodie now.
They are cool, yeah.
And then also surfshark.com/businessbrain, or use code businessbrain at Surfshark checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Very cool stuff. We'll talk about it all in a little bit, but you're definitely going to want to check it out. You can always check it out if you visit businessbrain.show. You can sign up for our mailing list. No, we don't give your name or address to our sponsors. What we do is we email you the show notes of every single episode, and in there are the links to our sponsors, along with the links of everything else that we talk about. So it's a nice, easy way to make sure you get all that stuff. Make sure you do that. Here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And out here in Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yes, that's right.
That's right. Hey, one of the things I want to talk about today, I'm always, I have that shiny object syndrome, which I think is actually a good thing to be looking at.
We were kind of talking about that in the last episode.
Yeah.
As long as you can cash flow fund your new shiny objects, you're in great shape.
Yeah, why not? Yep. I think that's how you find, because so many things fail or they don't take off. But, if you get enough of stuff going on, you can, hopefully do well. And one of the prompts that I've been using that helps me is, let's call it the blind spot prompt, and to help find blind spots, so telling me why my idea isn't good, or the pros and cons of my idea. And so, like, for example, what I would do is I would say, hey, here's the idea, or here's the decision that I'm considering. Here's the concept, the business I want to start, this concept I think we should offer, this product that we want to make. You kind of tell it what it is. And then just ask, very simple, what are the blind spots, hidden assumptions, or this one's kind of weird, a second order effect, like what might happen after that I may be missing. And I as an example, where's the one I just used? You
called it second order effect. Is that right? Okay.
Yes. And one of the examples is that I can tell you I can use is, I'm thinking we've got almost 2,000 people in our mastermind.
Okay.
And I've been asked by specific people or groups of people from time to time to have a higher level. We don't charge. It's $5.
Sure.
But because it's $5, you're kind of limited on, there's a great interactive community, and that's a huge benefit. But there's a lot of other stuff that we could offer that costs more, just because it's time and then, assets that I've developed and stuff. And so I said, hey, here's a decision I'm considering. Adding a $50 pro subscription to the reseller mastermind. Here's what they would get with the pro level. Access to all the unlocked programs, which is, we have these programs, a bunch of them that they sell for like $300 a piece. And recorded versions of all the paid workshops, because we do paid workshops.
Yeah, sure.
$100 a pop. So you wouldn't have to, you still got to pay if you wanted to go to the live.
You want to be there.
If you want to be there, you got to pay. But if you want the recorded content, which is our deep dives, like we're doing one on live selling Wednesday night that I'm really excited about, this guy that's killing it on Whatnot. And so the first, comes up and says, here's your blind spots. You're charging you're not charging enough. It will devalue your premium workshops and your programs. You also could be charging too high. You could risk cannibalizing lower ticket purchases. And so, people start to compare it unconsciously to platforms like, different higher end fundraising platforms. Like, I don't really want that. And then the other thing it says, does Pro clearly communicate value? If Pro doesn't immediately signal a transformational level above the $5 tier, people may not understand it. So I think that's pretty interesting.
This is great. And if you want to, the one thing, and this is especially true with ChatGPT, I don't find it as much with Perplexity, but ChatGPT definitely is a witness that is able to be led, right?
Yes.
And so when you ask a question where you're basically saying, find the negative things about this, it will find negative things.
It's going to, yes.
Whether they are, like, regardless of where in the hierarchy those negative things might fall when you're looking at it holistically. Now, that's super valuable if all you want it to do is be that negative Nelly that is going to give you information, but not advice, right? Like, you want to take this information and then say, okay.
I'm thinking, now
heard,
I can. Yes. I'm not.
You're not asking it for an opinion on this.
No. I'm just like, point out what I may be missing.
Yes.
Right. What are, and it's just like, okay.
Which is great. Yeah.
And it points out some of the hidden assumptions. It's like, hey, will people stay subscribed long enough? You're assuming a subscription won't dilute the perceived value of your premium content.
I like it.
And it's good. It makes me kind of
super valuable
about it.
Especially if you're, and I know you are, the kind of person that is intentionally optimistic, right?
Yes,
about things.
Absolutely.
It's really nice to have that voice of like, okay, I see. Great. I'm going to ignore that anyway, but I appreciate knowing it so that if I see the warning signs of that, I know where they might go, right?
Yes,
That's super helpful. I did an interesting thing that's similar to this the other night. I was driving in the car and I said to ChatGPT, I brought up the voice prompt and I said, okay, I want you to SWOT my life. SWOT, right?
Yeah.
And it's, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is what SWOT is. And so it did, but it was very nebulous and it was like, and it wasn't wrong, but it wasn't helpful. And I said, okay, now that's great. Thank you. And this was just all voice. I said, now what I want you to do is put three specific things in each of those categories. So you're going to list me 12 things. You're going to give me 3 in each, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Yep. And it did. And now it was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And it was spot on. I mean, it's got years of data about me. Doesn't have everything.
So you said, I want you to SWOT my life based on everything. You say like based on everything you know about me?
Based on everything you know about me. Yep.
Okay. And then you said identify 3 things of, how'd you do that? What's the second part?
I said, based on everything you know about me, I want you to SWOT my life, SWOT.
Right.
And then I said, okay, give me 3 specific examples for each of the 4 categories, right? And it did. And then so we talked a little bit about the categories and we narrowed it down and but that was, and then, oh no, I had one more, Shannon. I said, okay, you have identified 10,000 foot view. You've identified 6 things that are positive and 6 things that are negative. Now what I want you to do is teach me how to take the positive things and apply them to the negative things to overcome them.
Oh.
And it was super helpful because I took it from being this thing that was about me to like, okay, now here's this data set that is defined and rich, and use it to create a solution path. And it really was super helpful. I mean, not everything in it was great, but enough of it was. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah. I was pretty stoked with the outcome. I know. Yeah. It's pretty good.
And one of the things, if you don't have ideas for how to ask a question, ask it. Ask it to tell you. Like if you are thinking, if you say, well, I want to learn about, X, how do I ask you about it? Or I want to, create a tutorial about this, what's the best way to proceed? So you just talk to it.
Talk to it. Just talk to it. Yep, I've got something to say about that in a little bit.
Good.
We have something very related from listener Robert to share. The next thing that I want to share is I want to talk about our sponsors. And running a business today means you're online all day, everywhere, on every device. And every time you do that, somebody out there is trying to track, profile, or snoop on what you're doing. That's why I've been digging into our sponsor, Surfshark, a virtual private network, a VPN, that basically builds you a private encrypted tunnel on the internet so that all your activity stays private and protected. It's yours. Think of it like walking around the digital world with an invisibility cloak, but one that doesn't require a Hogwarts tuition bill. And especially during Cybersecurity Month, this stuff matters. One of the things I love, Surfshark protects me on sketchy public Wi-Fi. Whether I'm traveling, working from a coffee shop or cafe or something, or grabbing a few minutes of deep work time waiting for an oil change at the car dealer, I like knowing that the network I'm on can't see a thing. I don't know what they're looking for there, but it also lets you bypass geo restrictions. Super handy when you're traveling and still need to access your usual tools, your dashboards, or even that one streaming service that you pretend that you don't use during work hours. Not naming any names. You're all fine. And Surfshark isn't just a VPN. Surfshark Alert is a big one for me. It monitors your personal info and lets you know if anything shows up in a breach so you can fix it fast. It's risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Secure your privacy today with Surfshark. Go to surfshark.com/businessbrain or use code businessbrain at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Again, surfshark.com/businessbrain, code businessbrain at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. We've got all the links and everything in our show notes as usual. And our thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. And you know that one piece of clothing you grab every single day without thinking about it? That one that magically works, whether you're on the couch, on a Zoom call, recording a podcast, or actually living your charmed life out there? For me, that's become my PAKA hoodie. I'm literally wearing it right now while recording this. It's thin, cozy, soft in a way that makes no sense. It's just so amazing. And somehow warm without being bulky. It feels like the weekend hoodie that you want to curl up in, except it totally looks good enough to walk into a meeting or, record a podcast without it. I'm super obsessed with this. PAKA makes performance apparel from alpaca fiber. Softer than cashmere, warmer than wool, breathable, durable, and handcrafted in Peru. Each hoodie has the artisan's name stitched inside. And the thermal-regulating whole thing, it's real. Cold day, warm. Warm day, somehow breathable and cool. I wore it to a party at my dad's house, and they have these socks. Folks, those PAKA socks are awesome. Toasty, comfy, odor-resistant, moisture-wicking, and come with a lifetime guarantee. Socks with a lifetime guarantee. Isn't that the greatest plot twist in apparel history? If you've been thinking about upgrading your hoodie game, this is the sign. Actually, consider this me waving a giant alpaca-shaped flag saying, do it now to grab your PAKA hoodie and get a free pair of their alpaca crew socks. Head to go.pakaapparel.com/brain and use our code BRAIN. That's go.pakaapparel.com/brain and enter code BRAIN. You've got to make sure you put the hoodie and the socks in your cart first, and then all of that will work and you'll get the socks for free. Live that charmed life. Get the hoodie, get the socks, just like us. And our thanks to PAKA for sponsoring this episode. All right. Robert wrote into feedback@businessbrain.show and says, I have a thing I like to do, and that is to ask whatever AI I'm using to be more effective for me. He says, for example, the prompt is, I'm Robert. I'm a graphic designer. I need to write a business plan. Ask me 5 questions about me to make your response more effective. So this is leaning in to the thing that we say all the time, which is the more information you give the LLM that's specific to whatever your query is, the better it's going to be able to help you. And with this, he's saying, I don't know what you want, but I know you want more than this, 15-word prompt. So ask me. And now it becomes this interactive thing. And it says, great, thanks for clarifying. Here's what I want to know. How long have you been working as a designer, and do you have a signature style or design philosophy that defines your work? Right, that's one. Have you worked mostly freelance, in agencies, or in-house, and how does that shape the way you want to run your business? And onward and onward. And then he answers the things, and he showed us the whole thread, and man, this is fantastic.
It's pretty good. You kind of you're inverting, right?
You're inverting it. Yes, yeah. That's the right way to say it. I like that. Yeah, because you know that it wants more information. So tell it to ask you for more information. Sometimes it does, right? Sometimes you'll say, great, I want you to do deep research and do a thing. And it'll say, okay, before I start research, let me ask you a bunch of questions so I know what I'm doing. Well, you can make it do that at any time just by telling it, ask me any question. I don't tell it, ask me 5 questions. I tell it, ask me any questions you want, and let's go from there. And then that's fine. And the other thing you can do, if it gives you an answer where you're like, oh, this is going in the wrong direction, stop. Don't continue. Edit the prompt prior to that question, and then that answer doesn't exist anymore. You stop that trail. So that's my bonus prompt, or my bonus thing.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, it's great.
Super helpful. The key is, I had a lot of conversations this weekend. We had another event over the weekend. Lots of people still really worried about the LLMs and AI and how it's going to impact. And I kept trying to convince them. I said, well, everything needs guardrails of some sort, but the opportunity is like just tremendous, and it's going to happen whether you're worried about it or not. And so your involvement could help steer it to be better for society. Your use and coming up with different use cases to help the overall feeling at this event I went to was like, wow, there's going to be a whole segment of society that's going to be left behind. And no matter how many,
the only segment of society that's going to be left behind is the segment that chooses not to use AI.
I agree. So there's a lot of people that don't.
They're against it. They're against it for whatever reason.
Or maybe they don't have the capacity to understand it and use it.
Sure.
Right?
They haven't figured it out. I would say that we all have the capacity to use it. But like anything, if you've not used it yet, then you don't know yet. No,
you don't know.
And that's okay. I was out to dinner with a friend the other night. Very smart guy. And he said, all right, look, and he's in the music business. He's a sound engineer. He mixes monitors for someone whose name you absolutely know. Yeah. And he said, I haven't been, I really don't use AI. You got to tell me, like, please. And so I shared some of these things with him, including the SWOT thing. I'm like, oh, here's one I did the other night. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So, and I told him, go here, I'll text you a link. Go get your free for a year Perplexity thing and just mess with it. You will find this guy is a nerd, right? So, but he just didn't know how to use it. And we did. My wife was out to dinner with us, and the three of us talked about it for an hour. And then the next day he was like, dude, this is amazing. I'm like, I know.
I always freak everybody out when I say, oh, I upload my credit card statements to it to analyze it, and they're like, what? How could you do that? I'm just like, it's just charges. I don't care.
It's not.
Like, whatever. It's not. They don't have my account number. They don't have anything. No. It's like, I just analyze my spend and give me some feedback on where I can save money or where I be more efficient. And it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's coming. And I think that it's like we were talking about during the break in between the episodes, talking about self-driving cars. All that stuff is coming. So there's 2 ways to go about it: is to embrace it and learn and make it something positive for your family, your business, yourself, or to put your hand up and say, I'm not doing that and we're not going to do it. Well,
I hate to use this phrase because it's affiliated with something extremely negative if you're a Star Trek fan, but resistance is futile.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's not the Borg, but
it's not the Borg.
No, it's not
however, resistance is futile.
It is,
it's just like
same like the internet.
It's just the internet. The thing that I come back to a lot is I remember when Photoshop came out. And, we just had Robert, graphic designer, who's obviously using AI, right?
Yes.
So let that sink in for a second. But, and I don't know how old Robert is or whether he was on in the business when this all happened. But when Photoshop came out, the conversations that were happening in the graphic design community are so eerily similar to what's happening with AI right now, where people were saying, oh, this is going to be the end of graphic design. Photoshop's going to kill it. What actually happened? Well, we all know what actually happened. Graphic designers are the people who use Photoshop the best because they're skilled at this.
It'll be the same with AI. They're going to be people. The filmmakers that use AI are going to be the best at using it, not just some guy that makes an 8-second clip, right? On whatever. But
some of those are very good at using AI too.
Correct.
It doesn't mean when you say that to me, I don't think, this means that every actor forever is going to be AI in the future. No. I think the filmmaker that uses it to help refine their script or help come up with edit ideas. If you watch the live stream, when I do the ads, I show a lower third underneath it. I put them all in using DaVinci Resolve, which is a great piece of software, easy video editor, and it's available for free. They have one of the best freemium models on the market. If you aren't using it, really, just go use it. But I did not know how to. What I was putting in there for the lower thirds, if you look at last week's versus this week's, you can see a huge improvement. I did not know how to improve this. I didn't know what I needed to do to improve it. Okay. I also didn't know how to use DaVinci Resolve to implement those improvements. And 15 minutes with ChatGPT, I became more skilled with DaVinci Resolve, and it's so much better now.
And ChatGPT is better at finding information instructional or tutorials from every website you need to learn from.
Yes,
it's so much better.
It'll synthesize it all. And answer your question as opposed to you having to go and watch 5 videos and synthesizing it to answer your question.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome. So the future is now. So might as well get on board and. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. All right.
It's good.
Folks,
good.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Fun stuff. I love it. I love that we get to do this together every week, twice a week even.
Yeah,
I'm learning
fantastic.
so much about AI. I'm learning. I mean, this week, I definitely learned the most this week. I beat Shannon.
Too.
I beat Shannon this week.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Not sure about that.
Thanks for hanging out. Email us at feedback@businessbrain.show. Visit businessbrain.show/review to leave us a review, which then also enters you, into a drawing for a MacBook. You're going to want to do that. So make sure you do it. We love it. Thanks for hanging out with us, and keep on living that charmed life. We'll see you next week.
See ya.